Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with our Friday review. Looking forward to sharing with you the best of the week. Always excited to share my updates from what's going on with our global private practice. Anything we have going on, of course, over at Equal Life as well. Love being able to recap the podcast of the week, go over our book review of the week, our product review of the week. You won't want to miss that as well. They all tie in together this week. And then also two pieces of research that I always love to share. So the research studies that I pick out are real world. You know, they're not just deep in the science that you would never get any benefit out of it, but real things that I believe would pertain to you, of course, or to your loved ones as well. So there's so many things to go over today. I want to dive right into the show. No wild updates this week. No wild things going on in the practice. It seems kind of strange for me to say that, to be honest with you, because we always have so much going on. But there are a couple things that I would love to update you on. The first one being that I'm going to be coming out with some brand new 5-minute teaching videos, completely free, over on YouTube. So if you haven't already subscribed over on YouTube, you can literally just use the app on your phone, or you can use it, of course, on desktop. And just go to Stephen Cabral, just my name, and press subscribe. And you click that little notification bell as well. That will let you know when these videos become available. So every day my podcast is published there. You can watch it on video because it's now every day on video as well. But also I will be sharing these exclusive videos with you. These are 5-minute teaching tutorials that I'm going to be using. If you can see it right behind me in this area, if you're watching on video, that screen is actually a telestrator. So I'm going to be bringing up images and actually showing you and teaching you live demonstrations, seminars on, and just quick ones, 5 minutes on, hey, you know, what goes wrong with your trouble when you have a postnasal drip with, you know, maybe digestive issues or bloating. You know, what does it look like when you get hives in your body? What's the actual reaction? What does intestinal permeability actually look like? When you have headaches, where does the inflammation come from? If you are having difficulty with your menstrual cycle, where might be the phase in that luteal phase where things are going wrong? If you don't have energy, well, let's show you where the decline is in cortisol. So I'm really going to take you through these things, but make it much more easy to understand because I'm going to be showing you with pictures and actually drawing over it, showing you all the different details. I've already done a couple just to practice and just kind of get in the swing of things, and I very much enjoy it. I love to teach. It's really something that I've always done my entire life and always have gravitated towards it, and feel very fortunate that I get to teach in a topic that I love so much. So that'll be coming. So just make sure that you have subscribed over on YouTube, and some of them will be posted over on Instagram as well. And it's just, again, my name there as well. It's just Stephen Cabral, and over on Instagram. Okay, so that's that. I'm probably going to keep it at that for today. I am excited as well that in a few weeks, I'll be traveling back up to the Boston and Maine area for the summer. So super excited to be able to spend more time with friends and family up there, my hometown, and of course, my favorite place, which is Maine. So more to come from there. We'll probably be doing some outdoor videos now that it'll be nice weather up there as well. All right. What's going on over at Equal Life this week? Well, none other than our world-renowned Fatlocity-based system, which we are trying to introduce to more people. It's honestly, we have this system that works so well for so many people that use it, and just not enough people know about it. So one thing that I want to share with my team is I said, listen, again, this is always about giving people the best access to information. And I really believe that once they see it, once they learn about it, once they understand it, they will want to use this because it's guaranteed to get results. So it's unlike any other weight loss and fat loss system out there. It comes with a full course. It teaches you. It's not just the 2 nutritional supplements that have been clinically proven with 25 scientific studies to help you burn more body fat, even without exercise, although you should exercise. And it really is that good. So right now, going on over at Equal Life, we say, hey, you don't have to take our word for it. We're going to give you, so basically you purchase one and then you get to gift one to another individual. So we have so many people already using the system. We really want more people to remove the frustration that I talked about, like on episode, 1944 this week? Yes. About, why the scale won't budge, and just really help you understand, learn the science behind it, and then use a clinically proven, the first ever day and night fat burning formula to help you burn the body fat, help you lose the weight, not just with the nutritional supplements, but the entire system. And it works. So that's why right now, when you purchase Fatlocity, you can actually gift one with a code, an online code, to another individual. Why do we want to do that? So that you will join up with a partner. Remember, if you have an accountability partner, if you have a training partner, a nutrition partner, anybody that you partner with on a specific journey, you're much more likely to follow through. So what a nice thing is that both of you, even if it's only for 4 weeks, ideally you're doing this for a minimum of 12 to 16 weeks, that you join together and that you're able to take the weight off for health reasons, for so many other reasons, in order to improve your overall body. So right now, head on over to equi.life. You'll see that little banner right there, while supplies last, or you can go directly to the page by going to equi.life/Fatlocity, and that's Fatlocity with 2 S's. All right. Podcast recap from the week. On Monday, we went over that without a doubt, the way to actually increase happiness and increase everything in your life, like better relationships, better health, better body, all the things that you want, more spirituality, all the things that you want are really on the other side of you doing the things that you think you cannot do. Right? Easier said than done. I get it. I understand. But I outline, is that the correct? No, outline exactly the steps that you should take on that Monday show. That was episode 1942. So tune into that. Episode 1943 is a can't miss, because if you're dealing with a weight or wellness or aging-based issue, you have to understand that it is now clinically proven all disease, we're talking about chronic-based disease, all chronic-based disease begins in the gut. So I want to take you through that show and let you know that yes, mold and heavy metals and other things are an issue. There's no doubt about it. But if you're not looking at your gut and you haven't seen the research that shows over 90% of all chronic and autoimmune based issues begins in the gut, we have to take a look at that. All right. That was episode 1943. Episode 1944 is why the scale won't budge. I literally give you the plan to start with, why it won't budge. And then I give you, hey, if the scale isn't moving after doing this, then it is a metabolic disorder which can be overcome. You just need to know essentially 1 out of the 5, which one it is that you're dealing with. And I outlined all of that in the show. Yesterday, I had Clint Ober on from one of the authors of Earthing. I'll be talking about that book today since our Friday review, book review. And it was great to be able to chat with him. He's 77 years young, really has been doing this for the past, I think he said 23 years. Great individual, honestly, didn't have to do this, but had his own health struggles. I think he said in 1993, found out about this specific technology, we'll call it, even though it's natural from the earth, and really began to share it with others. So amazing guy, amazing story. That was yesterday's show. Hopefully you tuned into that, Conversations with Cabral. All of these shows, of course, are right over at stephencabral.com/podcast. All right, so that's our update from the week. So having said all that, we're going to go over our book review, which is Earthing. So Earthing is a book written by Clint Ober, who I just had on yesterday, Dr. Stephen Sinatra, who is a world-renowned cardiologist, and then also Martin Zucker. So this is really the most comprehensive book on grounding or earthing, as they say, and it's about 300 pages. So the 300 pages, why do I like this book? And the reason is this, is that grounding or earthing, if you didn't listen to yesterday's show, is essentially the body's ability to use negative ions and potentially frequencies, own natural frequencies that we know the earth has, which is about 7.8 megahertz. Believe it's megahertz, 7.8. And we know that the earth emits negative ions. We know that those negative ions are concentrated, especially in the morning, on, let's say, grass or dirt with a little bit of moisture, like that morning dew, or on the beach, near the ocean, near the ocean's edge, in the air, as well as with our feet planted firmly on the ground. We actually absorb these negative ions, and it helps do a few different things. It improves circulation. Okay, so it moves apart a lot of coagulated red blood cells. We call that rouleau if you're looking at it under the microscope doing microscopy, and I spoke about that yesterday. I did microscopy in my practice for about 10 years. I would love to get back to it. It's just a time thing, that's it. And I no longer see people in my private practice. Everything is virtual now, so I no longer take people's blood and look at it under a microscope. But I've done that 10,000 times and love it. I think it's fantastic. And you can still do it with many other practitioners out there. However, clinically proven, 300 pages of study after study and success story after success story of people using grounding and then showing the before and after results, whether it be microscopy or thermography, using thermal-based imaging. I'll show you this picture right here. So if you're watching this on video, you can actually see before and afters of inflammation in the person's body using thermal imaging. You can see people's wounds, their cuts healing at a faster rate. And people have used this for everything from autoimmune to prostate issues, you name it. You can see red blood cells under a microscope. Some of them are clumped together, and now they're more spread apart using what's called grounding. Now, here's the interesting thing. Real science can be duplicated, right? Something has to be duplicable in order for it to be, at least used in my practice, for it to be considered real science. And so that is why, again, a book like this, if you're not a believer, it will help convince you. If you just want to learn more about earthing, you don't want to read the 300-page book, well, tune into yesterday's podcast and you'll learn pretty much everything that you need to know about earthing. Now, I will link this book up here today. Great book to have, especially for practitioners. But let's say that you just want to start doing grounding. Well, first and foremost, if you have grass, even a patch of grass in your neighborhood, all that you need to do is go out in the morning when you're walking your dog or anything else and put your feet on the grass. That's it. If there's moisture, then it will be a better conductor and you will be getting more negative ions into your body. Ideally, you're doing this for 30 minutes. That was the amount of time that Clint has used in studies to see the best clinical-based results. The more time, the better, but 30 minutes is a good amount of time. That's a lot of time to be standing on the grass in your backyard in the morning, so I get it. However, walking around during the day barefoot on grass or dirt will also give you those negative ions. The problem is a lot of us wear rubber sandals or rubber soled shoes, and that does not allow the conductivity from the earth to come through into our feet. And cement and asphalt and all those things reduce those negative ions as well. But of course, near the beach, you can go for a walk on the beach. Any of these things are great. Now, the product review of the week, though, is what their company and other companies have done to recreate grounding. What does that mean? To be able to give you the same negative ions and the same grounding effects as walking on the earth. And I'm going to show you the pad I have in my office, and then I'll talk about the pad that I have on my bed. So right now, I just lifted this right off of the ground. You can see that there is a cord. This cord is attached to an outlet. They give you a device to make sure that your outlet is grounded. If your outlet is not grounded, then you do not plug this in, okay? So most outlets, I can't remember the exact date, but it's after the 1960s, are now grounded into the ground, which means you shouldn't be shocked by that outlet, get an electrical shock. I'm not an electrician, so you probably shouldn't quote me on that, but that is how this works. And all you do is you run a cord from the outlet right here, and you just snap it on this grounding mat. It's the same mat for your bed, mattress pad, or you can sit on this, okay, for meditation. You can see it. It's only about, let's say 2 feet long by maybe a foot wide. Or what I do is I put this directly under my feet and I don't have any shoes on, because really the best results come from keeping your skin in contact with the mat or, of course, to the earth. And the very best results, which I have not done yet, that's why I'm going to do a follow-up in about 2 months from now. So definitely hold me to this. If I haven't given you it in 2 months, let me know. But the very best results that Clint has gotten has been from attaching grounding pads, which I will show you. I don't have them with me here today, but I'm going to get them. With attaching grounding pads directly to the area of pain on your body, for 30 minutes, or to the soles of your feet. So what I'm going to do while I'm at my office desk is attach the grounding pads, which are just about 2 inches by 2 inches, to the soles of my feet. Okay, so I'm going to attach them directly. That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to track my heart rate variability directly with my real-time Leaf Therapeutics heart rate variability monitor, because your Oura Ring and your Apple Watch and all your other devices, they don't do real-time. So you're not able to really get a true heart rate variability up and down. So I'll actually give you my results from my own practice with, if attaching the grounding-based pads to my feet give me that bigger benefit, because right now I see a little rise in heart rate variability, no doubt about it. I don't luckily for me, I don't have any ailments or inflammatory issues, so I can't tell you that they've gotten better. But I mean, we're talking about thousands, tens of thousands of people that have gotten benefit from this, and I know it exists because it's out there in the earth. And so there's two ways: attach the pads to your feet, or use this pad right here. But there's another one where you can actually take this pad outside, and they give you grounding rods, and you can put the rod 6 inches down into the dirt, and you could meditate on it. You could keep your feet on it. You could do yoga on it. You could bring it to the beach. I mean, so these are kind of cool things to do. And the grounding rod goes grounded right into the ground. Now, the last thing I'll share with you is that I also have been using a mattress pad, which is basically the same black mat I just showed you, but it fits an entire bed. You can get a twin size that you could use as like a yoga mat, or you can use a king size, queen size, whatever bed size that you have. Now, I have just a sheet over the top of it. It's not uncomfortable at all. It's basically like a rubber type mat, and not uncomfortable to sleep on at all. And then I have a sheet over it. But I'm wondering though. I'm wondering now. I've only been using it for about a week or two, so I can't give you a lot of data on it. And my heart rate variability has been good, but I can't directly attribute that to the mat yet, because I have to take it away and then bring it back in order for me to have, real evidence, in my opinion, as the only variable change. But I'm thinking that it needs to be direct contact with your skin. That's what I believe. So if you're going to get a grounding mat, I only recommend the Ultimate Longevity, which I'm going to get you this. So you know what? I'm going to link it up just to make sure you get the right ones. So go to stephencabral.com/1946, because this is the only company that I know that has put in this type of research. Now, if you purchase these, whether it's just the one for your office to put under a computer, or for under your feet, or the sticky pads to go on your feet, like whatever you want to do, or the whole mattress pad, I want you to try skin to the mat. I believe that any type of material is going to greatly reduce your effects. It's just my opinion right now. I don't sleep directly on top of my grounding mat because I've only been using it for a couple of weeks, but I'm going to try a few nights where I sleep directly on top of it and see if that changes dramatically as well. So more to come. I mean, there always is. I'm always testing all these things out for you. But again, this is real science. It really does work. And if you're dealing with a lot of inflammatory-based issues, it might be something that you look into, and I do recommend it. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. Research studies for the day. I've got a couple for you. A lot of people, because the media tries to now say, vitamin D doesn't help with this particular virus that we're going through. Keep in mind, it does. The media loves to lie. They love to tell all sorts of half-truths. So a very small study was done with the worst of the worst patients that were already in critical care due to this virus. And when they gave them vitamin D, it didn't help with prognosis. I agree with you. I agree that when you are literally in critical care, I still think it can help, but not enough to just save your life with vitamin D. I mean, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, it has already been proven in large-scale studies that your chance for getting this particular virus and having terrible symptoms is dramatically reduced. And if you do get the virus and you're taking vitamin D, your chance for hospitalization or death is less than half. So please be careful what the media and all of their biases have to say to you, because it is not true. And this is now directly from, Dr. Holick as well. And this was a little bit of a warning that he wanted to give, saying that most people who live in sunny areas are also deficient in vitamin D. I just want to state that. So just because we have summer coming up for a lot of people, most people are still deficient in vitamin D during the summer, right? If you haven't had your levels checked yet, you can almost assume you're low in vitamin D unless you're taking vitamin D at about 35 IUs per pound of body weight, or you're maintaining a tan during the week, okay? And that typically is at least 3 days a week of getting a full body tan, not just your arms and face. So he goes on to say, because people wear sunscreen and avoid sun exposure, with the best time to get that sun exposure being 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., this means that a high-quality over-the-counter supplement is the best way to get your daily vitamin D requirement. Supplements are available as vitamin D3 for vegetarians, vegans, vitamin D2, which I don't recommend vitamin D2 at all. It's synthetic. It's not good for you. I can't recommend taking that. I recommend that children get 1,000 IUs daily, teenagers and adults 2,000 IUs at least. I have many of my patients on a 3,000 IU to 5,000 IU daily, and he personally takes 6,000 IUs. Well, the truth is this: a lot of doctors like to give people advice that they don't actually follow themselves in terms of like lower dosages and this and that. I tell you exactly what I do and I see work in clinical practice. I can't tell you exactly what to do unless you run your own vitamin D levels while taking a certain amount of vitamin D. Then I can tell you that it's too low or too high. But most adults need between 4,000 and 5,000 IUs daily. I wish we would say that, because they're saying, well, 2,000 IUs is really how much you should take. 2,000 IUs is what they're just saying, yeah, that's safe for everybody in the world to take. Okay, well, fine. But it's not going to make you optimal in vitamin D, which is between 50 and 70 is the number that you're shooting for. So you can run the vitamin D. You can run it anywhere you'd like, your vitamin D test. It comes with the stress hormones mood and metabolism test, which you can find over at eco.life/labs. But bottom line is this: in my practice, most people use the daily nutritional support powder in the morning. That's 400 IUs. Then they take 4 drops, not droppers, drops of the liquid vitamin D3, and that gives you then 4,000 IU. So 4,000, each drop is 1,000, plus 400 is 4,400. It seems to be the sweet spot for most adults between 120 pounds and 200 pounds. If you weigh more, you might have to take more, right? It's about 35 IUs per pound of body weight. And if you weigh less, you might have to take a drop less. So again, like it's for each individual, but after you've been taking, let's say, the program I just told you, it's your choice, of course. I can't give you medical advice. Then you could run your vitamin D after a month and you can kind of see where you're at. So hopefully that was helpful. A little vitamin D research for you. And the last one is this, because I've been hearing this lately and it honestly makes me really nervous, and I just don't understand conventional medicine. It's almost like doctors sometimes want you to like them more than they should be giving you quality medical advice. There's a lot of doctors out there telling pregnant women that it's okay to drink alcohol. That to me blows my mind, because that is not health advice by any means, and certainly not backed up by the research. Really dangerous, actually. I'm going to read you a little bit of research right now. This is from the American Journal of Obstetrics. Obstetrics. I don't know why I can't pronounce that word. And gynecology. Obstetrics. Well, it'll be a whole show of me trying to pronounce that right now. So let me give you the research, though, instead of my pronunciation schooling here. So anything more, this is the statement, anything more than 1 drink per week during early pregnancy can increase the risk for miscarriage. In fact, for each week that alcohol is consumed in the first 5 to 10 weeks of pregnancy, the risk for miscarriage goes up by 8%. Women who continue to drink before their first missed period or a positive pregnancy test also were at increased risk for miscarriage. Here's the bottom line. Any alcohol is detrimental to pregnancy and the development of a fetus. It is a poison to the human body. Now, we can deal with that poison with our liver and detoxification, but it's in your bloodstream for a certain period of time. Your blood is then actually circulated through your unborn child, which means they're getting some of that poison, that ethanol, that alcohol. Okay, so if you are actively trying to conceive, I recommend not drinking any alcohol. I can't tell you what to do, but for you and for your unborn child, I recommend play it safe. I mean, play it safe. This is a new life that you're creating, that you're bringing forth, that you're going to be taking care of for at least the next 18 years. And I just want to make sure that you're doing everything, right? That you're doing everything you can, because there's no guarantees in life, but you're just doing everything you can. So if your doctor, your OBGYN says it's okay to drink alcohol while pregnancy, I would refrain. I would take that with a grain of salt. The research does not back that up, and it can be actually quite dangerous. So just wanted to share that with you here today. Of course, if this show is helpful, please do feel free to pass it along to anyone else that you believe it could serve. And I'll be back this weekend answering your questions on our Cabral House Calls. Have an amazing weekend.